BBC London 94.9.
London's news at 6. I'm Jason Rossum. Good morning. BBC London has learned thousands of licensed security guards could be working fraudulently after buying their qualifications for cash. An undercover researcher managed to obtain a job guarding a power station using a licence obtained by paying a college to take his exams for him.
You're listening to BBC London 94.9 Breakfast
with Penny Smith and Paul Ross.
Good morning. The time is coming up to 21 minutes to 9. An undercover BBC London investigation has exposed serious fraud in Britain's security industry with secret recordings of colleges selling qualifications for cash. Job seekers have to sit mandatory exams to get a security industry authority card so that they can work in the industry. But undercover researchers infiltrated colleges which were happy to sit or to forge exams for untrained students in return for cash.
How long it takes to make the card?
For that will take 1 week. Your exam is going to be on 16th next week.
That's 11 days, okay.
You're not sitting in the exam. Okay, we're going to do your exam.
Well, Keith Vars, who chairs the Home Affairs Select Committee and is, of course, a Labour MP, told us it's a major scandal for the security industry and that you expect people who wear the badge to have completed the course.
But people assume that you have passed the basic minimum standards of getting that badge. And if it's the case that in some cases, the BBC is not saying that in every case, but in some cases, these badges are issued because of the fact that the person doing the examining is giving you the answers and telling you what to say, as well as the fact that it lasts only a couple of hours or so compared to the 120 to 140 that you need. This is extremely bad.
Well, Mario runs the PTTC training firm for security guards, joins us now. Good morning to you, Mario. Have you been aware of this sort of thing happening, of people getting their licences dishonestly?
There's been a certain amount of talk around for many years about people being able to gain qualifications in this way. I've never personally come across it, because if we did, any responsible trainer would report it straight away to an awarding body or the SIA.
How long should it take for you to get a licence?
For the close protection licence, which is what is being spoken about mainly, there's 140 guided learning hours, of which you've got to attend classrooms and you've got to attend different kind of drills out and about around the street. So you could be looking anywhere to 14 to 18 days to actually be able to do your close protection licence.
And what would the cost of that be roughly, if people come along and want to get trained up in this with a view to future employment?
Paul, this is one of the problems that seems to hit this industry, is that the prices hit the floor, and a lot of people out there are charging anywhere from £600, anywhere up to sort of £1,400–1,500. So it can be quite expensive, but it can also be quite cheap. But you've got to ask yourself, is cheap always the best?
What's the most important aspect, do you think, of the training?
The trainer, ultimately, because their experiences and their qualifications is what takes a lot of the guys and the girls through. You know, I've been doing security now for over 30 years. And a lot of what I impart through our courses is from my own experience. You know, what you deliver, the material, is one thing, but how you deliver it and how it's presented and how you explain it to people that are coming into the industry is vital.
Now, you can see the full version of this report on Inside Out tonight, 7:30 on BBC One, and then it's on for 7 days on the BBC iPlayer. But one of the very disturbing things, and you've mentioned close protection, is there's somebody who's asked, very specifically, have you had any martial arts training? The person, the BBC researcher, tells the truth and says no, and the examiner or instructor says, put down intermediate. Now, that would sound like something that, in the end, could be very serious indeed, maybe even cost a life.
Yeah, that's true, because a certain amount of the training is about self-defence techniques. So what they're doing as well is skipping through the system and making the system even shorter. And that's a compulsory question that you do get asked. So they've worked this through thoroughly, and we've been working with Guy on this, and we appear on the programme tonight. And we agreed to do that because of the fact of the seriousness of this and the concern that we have. Scandals like this have hit the industry before, very similar to this, but not exactly the same. and thousands and thousands of certificates got withdrawn. And that's potentially what we're looking at now, is that's going to happen, is the SIA will look into it, withdraw certificates, especially those involved with this centre or with this trainer. And I know this trainer personally, and he took part of a course of mine going back in the 90s. And the shame is that he's actually one of the kind of founding fathers of the security industry training, which makes it even more shocking.
I suppose the point is, as well, on the other side of it, as it were, you could say that perhaps 99.9% of people don't need the intermediate martial arts training, do they? That they never use it in the end.
You never quite know. I've worked in close protection for a number of years, and one of the people that I looked after was Paul's brother. And you kind of end up in situations sometimes where it's important to be able to defend yourself and to defend the principal as well, so to look after that person. You've got to be able to see what's happening, be able to react to what's happening, and also be able to defend yourself and the people that you're looking after.
Thank you for joining us. That was Mario there, who runs the PTTC training firm for security guards, talking live to BBC London 94.9. Again, a reminder that very disturbing report, you can see it in full tonight, 7:30 on BBC One, and a spokesman for the Security Industry Authority, which reports to the Home Office, said, "We take allegations of training malpractice seriously. When the BBC shares the information it is holding on training malpractice, we will take immediate action against the licensed individuals concerned in order, they say, to protect public safety." But as we heard from Mario, this has happened before.